the third edition of the Tiger Highline Online. I'm Jaime Zarate.
And I'm Austin Hanson, and we're here to bring you the latest news from around the Cedar Falls High School campus.
Hi, my name's Drew Suggs. Tweeting has been a recent trend here at Cedar Falls High School, and adopting this trend is Mr. Blair Broker. Here's a story on how he uses it in the classroom by Drew Suggs, Kyle Krieger, Andy Hughes, and Jacob Honeymuller.
As many of you know, Twitter is a social networking site where you can tweet about events going on around you. A teacher at Cedar Falls High School has embraced Twitter to use it as an educational tool. Mr. Blair Broker's psychology classes use Twitter to ask questions, get assignments, and for discussion. To learn more, we asked Mr. Blair Broker himself.
Well, they don't have to benefit, but I think it's another way to communicate with students. So it's one way for them to ask me questions, quick, easy questions, and it's a way for me to get information to them. I don't know. I started to use Twitter myself, I guess last spring quite a bit, just to kind of follow news stories, that kind of thing. And then I began to think, are there ways that I could use this in the classroom, and decided to try and play around with it a little bit this year. The kids that like Twitter and have Twitter accounts, they're pretty into it, and they use it a lot, and I think it's pretty effective for them. There are other students that signed up for Twitter but don't check their accounts and don't use it, and then a bunch that aren't interested at all. So I don't think it's a way to hit every student, but the students that like Twitter and use it, they seem to benefit.
After talking to Mr. Blair Broker, we decided to ask students whether they found Twitter as an educational tool beneficial.
I think so, because it's a really good reminder, especially when I'm not really thinking about homework, and then it reminds me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I actually have homework tonight.
Yes, because it's the only reason I use it is to get Blair Broker's tweets to my phone so I know the assignments. It would be convenient if they all tweeted their assignments to me on my phone, but I guess I wouldn't require them to do it, but yeah, it'd be kind of nice, I guess.
Yeah, I find it very beneficial. I always look at it for assignments and different test dates and everything from my teacher. I think more teachers should use Twitter. It's a very good resource that they can use, and a lot of kids get it sent right to their cell phones so they can always look at it whenever the teacher posts something new.
This is Andy Hughes reporting for the Tiger Highline Online.
This last Saturday, the Cedar Falls High School marching band received a Division I rating in the state competition. Here's a story by Austin, Frenchie, and myself.
Completing their mission of 10 straight Division I ratings, the Cedar Falls Tiger Marching Band had an outstanding performance at state contest on October 8th.
Saturday we went over, performed really, really well in Waterloo, in front of the judges, in front of a nice home crowd, and scored really high. We got a Division I in every box, which is the highest you can get.
For seniors Billy Howard and Rudian Talbot, it was great to accomplish a Division I after all of the hard work that the band has put in this year.
We all just put a lot of effort into it, and it was very rewarding to see that we had all finally come together, and after some of the difficult practices, to see that it benefited, and we had a really good show, and we sounded really good for a marching band.
We put in a lot of hours of work this year. We practice every day during fourth hour, whether it be marching or music or both. And so Saturday we went and performed, and we had a very good show, and I think everyone pulled together very nicely.
With the pressure of having a high-quality show like years past, this year's show had to be new, different, and exciting.
This year we chose a medley from Phantom of the Opera and worked through developing a show that was based on the drum corps version that Santa Clara Vanguard used, which is a professional drum corps out of Santa Clara, California.
For me, this was a really good year to go out on, because it's really poignant, because in 5th grade I was obsessed with Phantom of the Opera, and so I was it was really fitting, and I loved the music, and it was really interesting to hear a marching band arrangement, and I think we did it justice.
It just seemed to be the right fit and a good show that was different than what we'd done before.
This has been Austin Hanson reporting from the band hallway for the Tiger Highline Online. The Cedar Falls Choir and Orchestra have been working hard preparing for their upcoming concerts. Here's a story by Emily, Christina, and Lisa.
The musical department at the Cedar Falls High School has been hard at work since the beginning of the year. It is now ready to showcase all of their talent with upcoming vocal and orchestra performances. Scott Hall has been the orchestra instructor for quite some time.
This year's group, I've really been enjoying visit, and then it's time to get to work. They're ready to work hard, and they've been playing very musically, and so I really have been enjoying the group.
They will be playing a wide variety of songs in this concert, from classical pieces to some that are more modern. The orchestra concert will be on Tuesday, October 11th at 7:30 in the high school auditorium. On the vocal side, Elliot Cranes is a choral director and leads not only the men's chorus group, but the women's as well. They have also been hard at work in preparing for their performance.
Music is the one thing, it's the one language that actually touches you.
Their concert will be on Monday, October 17th at 7:30 and also in the high school auditorium. Both groups are very excited for these upcoming concerts and will very much appreciate that you attend. This is Lisa Morales, Christina Brammer, and Emily Peck reporting for the Tiger Highline Online.
There are new Kindles available at the Cedar Falls High School Library for your students to check out. Here is a story by Drew, Garrett, and Ben.
Cedar Falls High School has gotten new technology in the form of new Kindles for the library as well as classroom use. We sat down with Ms. Ann Hall to talk more about the Kindles.
Cedar Falls High School Library has about 5 Kindles, and currently we let students check those out for a 3-week period. They can read any book that we have on it now, and we have probably about 21 titles or 20. And occasionally, if a student finds a book that we don't have, within about 5 minutes we can have it loaded on the Kindle and they can take it and start reading. The great thing about the Kindle is when you're reading those, you can just go ahead and look up a word if you don't understand it. It also has internet access, so you could look up information about something if you didn't know anything about that subject you were reading on. It also allows you to see what other people have highlighted and what they've noted as important passages in the book, so that's kind of interesting to look at. I think the Kindles are a great little resource because, like I said earlier, you can check out a book and have it with you within 5 minutes as opposed to going to the bookstore and buying it. You can look up the words immediately. It's light and easy to read. It keeps track of where you've been. You don't have to worry about your bookmark falling out. It's easy to use, and it's fun to use.
We talked to sophomore Gay Wagner to find out what he thought about the Kindles.
The Kindle is really better than books because, one, it's a lot smaller than any kind of book that you can have. I love them a lot better. School is a good idea for them to get them.
This is Ben Harder reporting for the Tiger Highline Online.
And that's it for this week's updates.
Hope to see you next week.